Noah Belleville on the pole for the 9th round of Thursday Night Thunder. Jason Alexander from Salem, South Carolina, starting on the outside of row number 1. 80 laps of competition at iRacing's Michigan International. Green flag is out, and with a huge blink, Noah Belleville gets us started. We are racing. Justin in the chat. Big Richard in the chat. What's going on? Jason Alexander sitting in second. And Chuck Sweet now running in that third position in the Rainbow 5-7, just ahead of Seth Watson. Let's get on board with Chuck. Trying to run alongside car 5-3, Jason Alexander, and Chuck Sweeting gets in the wall. Matt Vorndren has to avoid him. The three-time champion, Aiden Norman, in the number 6-2 machine, just trying to stay ahead of everything. He's trying to climb up these points standings. Dale Markowski now to the outside of car 62. And if you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Noah Belleville running away from the field, but blinking at an incredible rate, and if this continues to happen, he could get sent to pit road automatically. Cody Pinnell in the chat says Jaco can't get any draft from the 41 when he's not there, and that just simply is the case. Noah Belleville continuing to blink down that front straight. Jason Alexander ahead of Seth Wansing. Pride of Salem, South Carolina, holding it down in the second position. He's doing a great job. Let's go back to Brent Roberts in car 84, the Best Buy machine. Last week's winner at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in impressive fashion with a last lap pass around Chris Fleming, who's not in tonight's race. Brent goes top side with car 14, Donald Ray. Just ahead of him. When's the last time you saw Donald Ray racing the Gen 4 cars, huh? Really, really good to see him back in action. Brent Roberts running in 10th and 11th, and the Maryland driver now gets around the Texas pilot at the front, Noah Belleville. Now his lead has been cut down to 1 second. Maybe Jason Alexander starting to catch up to him. Or perhaps, like Cody Pinnell said, maybe the internet connection is holding on strong. And Justin asking me to turn up the mic. Now, that's no fault of yours. I think you need to turn the race cars down. All right, Justin, you let me know if that's any better. I appreciate the heads up there, by the way. I know that the audio sometimes gets funky, but definitely I want to hear these race cars, and I know it's a pain if I can't hear myself. Also, last week, now that you mention it, Justin, I did have a lot of echo in the background. It sounded tinny. Let me know if that's still the case. Definitely on the backstretch, these race cars are super loud. I appreciate you letting me know. And we can also turn the mic up just a bit. Anyway, still nose to tail for the most part here. Tristan Catania in the 48 car now sits behind Toby Estes. Let's get on board with Tristan. 48 car watching a couple of drivers scrape into the wall. Toby Estes gets to the inside of Donald Ray, and now he wants a piece of Elrich George, the Bahamian driver, and one of two Caribbean pilots as they go around. Just as we talk about him, Elrich George goes into the air. He's going to fly around, and caution number 1 is going to come out in spectacular fashion. Toby Estes now missing the front end of his race car. Do let me know if I've got too much volume in the mic as well. I definitely don't want to be so loud that I'm deafening people. Anyway, let's go back and see what happened on lap 1. We were just mentioning Elrich George, one of two drivers racing under Caribbean flags. The other one being Tommy Withers, and Toby Estes looks like he just got into the back end of George. It's right on board with Toby. Cody Pennell outraged in the chat. Elrich George turned on his side. Let's see one more time what happened to Boss, if you know, in the 40. Just a racing deal. I'm not sure if Toby knew the closing speed that was coming up. Donald Ray got caught up in that one as well. Let's get a ride with Jacket. We haven't mentioned Ryan Lindemann once in this race. The Tampa driver scoots on through. And from the top, let's get a blimp view of what happened here. Toby Estes in that number 8 Estes Property Care machine. He's going to come up on the 40 of Elrich George. I just didn't see the closing speed, plain and simple. Tristan Catania also caught a piece of that. I think Tommy Withers got a piece of that. John Honeybrink, who's just trying to mind his own business, also caught a piece of that. So everybody will come down pit road. Noah Belleville will be scored as your race leader. And is he still blinking? Yeah, he's still blinking. Jason Alexander will try to win the race off pit road and does. Matt Vorndren comes out in third. The Illinois pilot sits ahead of Kansas City's Seth Wansing. The number 5 car in position number 4. The 5-7 in position number 5. Hawthorne, Florida's Chuck Sweeting. Under caution for the first time. While there's nothing going on, perfect time to get the sponsor in early. We got to talk about Drip Diecasts. They have kept us going for 12 seasons and beyond. For every broadcast that we do, it's mostly because Drip Diecasts, for the most part, Drip Diecast keeps us going in one way or another. You know what? As I'm talking about it, there it is. Check them out on eBay. They are your number 1 online store for NASCAR memorabilia, period. If you like a paint scheme that you see here, check it out on Drip Diecast. You'll find it. Anyway, we'll talk more about them later. I'm sure there's a paint scheme out here that you'll like, and you'll see, oh my gosh, I want to get that. Go to Drip Diecast. Who doesn't want a Dale Earnhardt car? Actually, matter of fact, Toby Estes is in the chat. Let me, not Toby Estes, I'm sorry. Cody Pennell. Cody Pennell's in here. Let's ask the man himself his favorite paint scheme. Noah Belleville's mom says, I made everyone get off the Wi-Fi. Moldy's mama. You gotta love how supportive this family is, because I think a couple of weeks ago, they had moved the Wi-Fi router closer to Noah Belleville's computer so he can get a stronger connection and stop blinking. So now everybody gets off the Wi-Fi. They're going to push the router closer to the computer. Hopefully the blinking will cease, and he's going to continue moving her on. And Justin asking if is that why he's blinking so badly. I genuinely have no idea, but we're going to find out. We're going to keep it moving. We've got, 12 laps about to be completed of the scheduled 80, and the front 2 positions, as a matter of fact, I think the front 3 or 4 positions, but definitely the front 2 are exactly as they were when we started this race. Noah Belleville with control of the field, and this time it's his call on when to go. Jason Alexander on the outside of row number 1 waiting for the flag to drop. And we're racing again at Michigan. Matt Vorndren to the 2nd position with Jason Alexander filling in that bronze medal slot. Aiden Norman in 4th, Seth Wansing in 5th. Briley Wright in that 6th position in car number 3. He's got last week's winner, Brent Roberts, behind him. Chuck Sweeting in that 5-7 to the inside of that 3. They almost go 3 wide. Toby Estes and Colin McDonough watching all of this unfold behind them. And the New Jersey pilot weaving through this field. Noah Belleville still blinking a bit at the front, but pulling away with this lead by half a second. Illinois' Matt Vorndren in that 3rd position. Jason Alexander holding back the 3-time champion, Aiden Norman. Coming into this race as the 5 car of Seth Wansing goes around, we keep it green. Seth is not going to hit anything. He's going to keep it moving. And we stay green. Seth Wansing has a lot of work to do now. Matt Vorndren in the 88, still in that 2nd position. And hopefully without missing anything, let's see what happened to Seth. Watch this. Oh, he just checked up, got loose, maybe minor contact with Aiden Norman. One more look. 6-2 hits the wall, 5 checks up, and he slides by himself. Seth Wansing running in 17th. And it's certainly not over. He's coming out of turn number 4. He's going to get up to speed. He's going to get his rhythm back. Here's the thing. He's got to go fast enough to last to the next 30 laps. Drivers pitted most recently on lap number 10. With a couple of caution laps, maybe they'll make it to lap 42 or 43 on fuel. And if Seth goes a lap down, he will be that first car a lap down. So if a caution comes out, he'll still get his lap back. It's far from over for Seth Wansing. And here's a question. Where did Matt Vorndren come from? He's always been known to be a top 5 runner. God, that scared the living hell out of me. I forgot that Darrell Waltrip comes on the stream and screams every time somebody subscribes. Thank you, Cody Pinnell, for subscribing. I greatly appreciate that. Matt Vorndren in 2nd. And again, he's been known as a top 5 guy, but he's getting better. He genuinely is getting better, and here he is fighting for the lead with the TNT champion of Season 9, Noah Belleville. And the pride of DeSoto, Missouri, 6/10 of a second ahead of Matt Vorndren. He's got Aiden Norman sitting in third, and what can the three-time champion do? Back in ninth, Steph's favorite, Justin's favorite. Car number 39, Colin McDonough from Trenton, New Jersey, sitting in ninth and trying to roll along to the inside of Ohio's Dale Markowski. Toby Estes trying to hold them both off from seventh. Sparks flying off of car number 8. Toby just holding on to that 7th spot, and Dale trying to get closer. Chuck Sweeting in the 5-7 holding on to that top 10. And how about Ryan Lindemann with a change, by the way? I've got to ask him about this, because if you've ever watched a Thursday Night Thunder race with Ryan Lindemann before, you will know he races with green numbers, green rims. I honestly don't think I'm going colorblind, but those are orange. So if we get another caution, I'm going to try and remind myself to ask him about that, because that is a really interesting change. I want to know the story behind that. Virginia's Tommy Withers, dressed up like the Green Lantern. Remember when Carl Edwards drove that? You know, I bet this is a die-cast that you can get from Drip Diecast. And if they don't have it, they can find it. But this is a special paint scheme. The Green Lantern right now trying to take down the Jordan 5-1 of Ryan Lindemann. And shout out to Mrs. Lindemann, because sometimes she tunes in, says hi. Hope the family's doing well. Justin earlier said Belleville is wicked strong. That's a really good machine, and it is. Moldy's mama in the chat also saying we moved the Wi-Fi box again and hoping that helps. Anything they can do is just, not only does it help, but it's just charming. It's just beyond charming, and it's so, I mean, at its core, this is just a fun little game, but we do take it a bit seriously because we love the competition and we love racing, right? So in that spirit, to just move the Wi-Fi box closer so he has a better racing experience, that it's touching. That you would allow yourself to do something like that just for our little fun, for our enjoyment. That's awesome. Aiden Norman in the 6-2 Soju machine chasing down Matt Vorndren. 0.7 of a second is that gap. He's been closing in, but not consistently. Aiden said earlier, I got no practice for this race, despite him being a 3-time champion. Despite him on this comeback tour, he sits 5th in points, by the way. And I won't do the math because I'm garbage at it, but I think it's 58 points. No, more than that. Again, I can't do the math, but he's 5th in points. He's climbing on what originally was a part-time schedule. Now he's back and he's racing while he has fun, and he genuinely might be racing for that championship. How about this mess? 3 wide through turn number 3. That includes Chuck Sweeting, Ryan Lindemann, Colin McDonough on the top side, and the 5-1 squeezes in. No contact between them. Almost 4 wide. If McDonough can squeeze in, they will go 4 wide. I think they're honestly trying for 4 wide at this point. Lindemann goes high. He's in 9th. Watch him move. Matt House said it in the chat. Family is absolutely everything. Oh, Lindemann gets loose out of turn number 4. There goes the Floridian pilot. He's going to get into Tommy Withers. Withers keeps it moving. 3 wide, no contact up front, and we're still racing. All of that for the 9th position. Justin said it. That 39 was like, see ya. And they never saw him again. McDonough now trying to break down Chuck Sweeting's advantage. It is 0.4 of a second between Chuck Sweeting in 8th, Colin McDonough in 9th. Lindemann now moves into 11th, trying to get around the Green Lantern, and he's working on the Estes machine in 8th. That's car number 8. In 10th. Tenth place held on by that much, and it's closer for 11th. Tristan Catania in the Tasmanian Devil 48. He's trying to get a piece of this action out of turn number 4. Tristan hits the wall, and he's going to skid. 2-time champion Tom Sears comes up behind that 48 car. He's now on the outside across the front straight, and Sears runs in 12th. Lindemann now down to 13th, and Catania might take the lucky spot away from car 51. Maybe the tires are just that worn. Maybe the magic has gone away. There are 20 laps on Ryan Lindemann's tires further ahead. Chuck Sweeting goes to the inside of Jason Alexander, and the South Carolinian, who started in 2nd, now runs in 8th. Trying to get his spot back. McDonough's got a scent of the draft, and Colin's going to join that fight. Jason Alexander's not done. Tom Sears running in the 12th position in car number 18. Donald Ray back to the 17th position. He's losing sight of that draft, but definitely not out of the woods. He did pit on lap 21, however. So Jacket, for those that know, finds himself a lap down, and he is the first car a lap down. So if the caution comes out, he gets his lap back. Jacket can also make it to lap 50, let's say, on fuel. That puts him in a really good position if this race goes green to the end. However, he's got to get back on the lead lap and on the right cycle. Anything's possible. Chuck Sweeting keeps climbing. Colin McDonough wants to do the same. Let's get a ride with the 39. Jason Alexander holding on to the 8th position. Colin McDonough trying to take that away from him in car 39. 34 laps of the scheduled 80 underway, and battles all over the track, really. Brent Roberts now trying to get ahead of the 5-7 of Chuck Sweeting. Dale Markowski also involved in that fight, and Briley Wright going to get a piece of that in 4th. Shout out to Sarah at home. 34 laps complete this time by. Jason Alexander now into the 9th position. Colin McDonough moves into 8th. Dale Markowski in 5th, but for how much longer? .57 almost gets into a scrap with the 33 and the 84. Chuck Sweeting in 5th. He gets away in that 57. Dale Markowski in the 33 now slots in behind Bren Roberts in the 84, and positions changing all over the place. Again, the majority of these drivers, they last pitted on lap number 10. What that means for them is that they're going to try and pit probably lap 40. Maybe 41, 42, because they did have a couple of caution laps, so they were able to save fuel. But we're also going to see the drivers who can stretch the fuel longer than anybody else. Noah Belleville still leading this race, but now he's got Aiden Norman behind him. This is the move for 2nd place when Aiden Norman got around Matt Vorndren on the front stretch. Doing it the hard way, even with no practice. Moves up into 2nd, 1.7 seconds the gap. But there goes Norman. He is in. Aiden Norman decides, you know what, it's my time. And the 6-2 will filter in. Briley Wright will also come in behind him. Here comes the 8 of Toby Estes. Tommy Withers is also in. Meanwhile, on track, 6th place on the line. Now Jason Alexander trying to get through Colin McDonough. And he will. Green flag pit stops underway. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. 1 caution to speak of. Otherwise, we're good. And a fantastic caution it was. While we've got green flag pits, don't want to miss anything. But this is Elridge George in on lap number 8. Toby Estes gets a piece of the 40 car, and a lot of folks get caught up. The only incident of the night so far. 4/10 the gap between Dale Markowski in 3rd, Jason Alexander in 4th. Tommy Withers trying to overtake Donald Ray. This for 15th. Matt Vorndren is in. He's going to give up his top 5 spot. Jason Alexander is also in. Noah Belleville, he pitted on lap 38. He's now out. Bren Roberts is your new leader, and all of the top 4 have yet to pit. Drivers are on cold tires now. If a caution comes out, it could change a lot. I'm also losing some frames on this end as well. If anybody else is losing some frames, let me know. We got to fix some stuff up. Bren Roberts to the left side of the track, Chuck Sweeting to the right. Bren Roberts in the lead. Chuck just trying to get his lap back. He runs in 8th, and everybody waiting for Bren to come into the pits, and he will come down into the pits. But will he come down too fast? He wiggles on the way into the pits. Will there be any flags for Bren Roberts? None yet. Noah Belleville just went purple, 38:30. He's got the fastest lap of the night. Bren Roberts looks like he just made it into the pits, but how quick will he be? Belleville holds on to fourth, but Tristan Catania is also in the pits, so Noah Belleville will move up to second, and Tom Sears. He currently sits up 14 places from where he started. He's leading this race. Justin chiming in and letting me know that, yeah, we've had horrible frame drop this week, for the record, and I appreciate you letting me know. At the same time, I also am trying to push the envelope of how far my graphics can go every week. Since a few weeks ago I had that crash, so it could be on my end, but I appreciate the vote of confidence. Tom Sears is in, Noah Belleville's in turn number 3. Aiden Norman is 1.6 seconds behind Noah Belleville. Aiden coming in 1 lap sooner than the potential race leader. Sears comes to a halt. Honeybrink is out of his stall. Noah Belleville, once again, your new leader. We are 43 laps into this race. And drivers, again, can go about, what, 30, again, we said about 30 laps on fuel. So if they pitted on lap 37, 38, they're looking to come in on lap 67, 68. Belleville in control, though. He just expanded that gap to 1.6 seconds. And a quick look at the gain and loss. And while we're looking at that, a big shout out to Grandma Jeannie. Gotta say, far and away, Grandma Jeannie, definitely up there. She's got to be #1 Rick James TV fan. Always tuning in to cheer on Noah Belleville. Moldy Muskrat, for those that know. 1.7 seconds. Now the gap between the drivers. Madhouse saying, don't drive and watch, Grandma Jeannie. No, I assume Grandma Jeannie's in the passenger seat watching along. If Grandma Jeannie is driving and watching the race, that's really, really brave. Please be careful. As a matter of fact, I think for legal reasons, I have to say, don't watch. Turn it off. Get home first and then watch. So we'll say that. Anyway, Aiden Norman's 1 3/4 seconds behind Noah Belleville. That's not interesting. What is interesting is Matt Vorndren, Colin McDonough, Briley Wright, Bren Roberts. All separated by 0.4 of a second and now closing. McDonough in the 39 has Vorndren ahead and Wright now on his rear bumper. And the 39 car sailing away right now with that 5th position. Briley Wright sitting in 6th, trying to get just a bit closer. The Greensburg pilot, one of 2 Bluegrass Bandits in tonight's race. Toby Estes being the other, running in the 9th position now. Wright sitting in 6th. Roberts in 7th, side by side into turn number 1. Once again, big shout out to Drip Diecast. They keep us running. If you see a paint scheme that you love here, that you'd love to have for yourself, check out Drip Diecast. They are your #1 store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia and more. If you like any of the paint schemes you see here, Drip Diecast has them. Check them out on eBay. They're your #1 diecast store. Tom Sears and Ryan Lindemann, 3/10 is all that divides them from 12th to 13th, 5th and 6th. Closer than that. Colin McDonough, Bren Roberts. About to be side by side down the back straight. Bren getting a great run off of turn number 2. Inching forward into turn number 3. A 1/4 of a second between them. Dale Markowski, he's now getting that close up to Briley Wright. I always did like this number 33 Old Spice paint scheme. I think Tony Stewart won at Daytona in this paint scheme, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. The other half of our Bluegrass Bandits, Briley Wright sitting in third, trying to hold off Dale Markowski for the 7th position. And they are getting really competitive. For as many problems as these cars have had this season, trying to pass each other, being competitive, racing in dirty air, there is a lot of passing that goes on here. There is really good racing tonight. Matt Vorndren's in the 4th position, up 3 places from where he started. Bren Roberts now getting up to Matt Vorndren, and of course, he's going to take Colin McDonough with him. They're snaking down that front straight. Matt Vorndren in the 88 Mellow Yellow machine, just ahead of Bren Roberts' 84 Best Buy Chevrolet. Bren trying to make it happen the hard way, around the outside. Colin McDonough, will he slide up in front of car 84? Matt Vorndren will not slide up in front of car 84, but now Bren Roberts has a window to the inside of turn number 3, and he's going to take it, but can he make it stick? This is for 4th place. Again, I don't know if it's me having frame rate issues, but I do apologize regardless. Hopefully this will be fixed the next time around. I don't have any warnings that I'm losing frames, because normally I get told, hey, your stream is garbage, but not this time around. 28 laps to go, and I just realized that says Echo Park Speedway, not Michigan International. Wow. You know? There we go. So now for the last 28 laps of the race, we'll actually have the right, name of the racetrack in the top left. I don't even know what I'm saying. Bren Roberts now trying to take 4th away from Matt Vorndren. 0.2 of a second is the gap between them. Brent Roberts up 7 places from where he started. Let's get the gain up one more time. Brent sitting now in 5th. He started in 12th. Justin saying it's a great stream. I appreciate that. You know, and there's always something that goes wrong. And I always say, if it's not a Rick James TV broadcast, if something doesn't go wrong. So that's how I know things are normal, is because I missed a detail somewhere. We got to fire this producer. Tom Sears trying to hold off John Honeybrink, even though that's not for position. Jason Alexander, he's now trying to scoot ahead of the Massachusetts pilot, on board with the 18. Vorndren trying to hold on desperately to 4th. The drivers last pitted on lap 37 to 41. So that tells us they're going to come in between 67 and 71. We're about 15-ish laps away from pit stops, especially if these drivers have been saving. 5th place on the line. Roberts is going to try and use the speed and the momentum out of 2, but Vorndren is going to slide in front of the 84. And another time around the racetrack. 23 laps to go next time by. Vorndren doing a sensational job of holding on to fourth. But how long can he keep it up? Is he burning up the tires? Bren Roberts may have found the inside line off turn number 4 and the momentum he needs. Vorndren using the speed out of the fourth corner. He's going to hold on for now. Dale Markowski, Colin McDonough, 0.2 apart, less than that, 0.1 Tommy Withers and Jason Alexander separated by 0.6 hundredths. Are they bump drafting down the front straight at Michigan? .22 remaining on the clock. Noah Belleville, 1.7 seconds ahead of Aiden Norman, which is where the gap was when Aiden came out of the pits, give or take a tenth or two. Toby Estes just left the pit lane here on lap 57. With 22 laps to go, we know he can make it on fuel. If a caution comes out, and if he plays his cards right, he's going to be in prime position to take this lead. Vorndren still staying ahead of Bren Roberts down the front straight. When will these two come down pit road? Vorndren pitted on lap 41. Roberts pitted on lap 39. Chuck Sweeting, Colin McDonough, Dale Markowski. They've all come down pit road. 20 laps to go next time. 0.3 separates the podium. Vorndren's in. Matt Vorndren's on his way into the pits. He just can't speed. This is no time for Vorndren to speed and get a penalty. He crosses that line way higher than 57 miles an hour on my clock, but my telemetry could be wrong. So far, no flags for Matt Vorndren. He's in safe and sound. Bren Roberts now moves into third. This is where Bren has to get to work. If he wants to overtake Matt Vorndren on the pit stops, he's got to earn his money now. Colin McDonough, Chuck Sweeting, they're trying to race. They have no reason to move for Bren Roberts, nor should they, and I don't think they need to because Bren Roberts is on his way in. Same deal for Bren. He's got to take care not to speed into the pits. He's in third. No penalty from what I can see for Bren Roberts, and he came in the same way. He flew down pit road, shaking that race car into the pits. He comes down to a halt. No worries. Noah Belleville leads 1 3/4 seconds over Aiden Norman, and still a pit stop remains for them. Tom Sears is in third, by the way. He last pitted on lap 42. He's probably good for another 10 laps. Aiden Norman decides he's going to come in. He's going to try and undercut the race leader. These are the points coming into this race. Noah Belleville leads 315 points to Aiden Norman's 257. Norman says the championship, it's long gone. Can't happen. Mathematically, it can absolutely happen. But when Noah Belleville puts in performances like this, it could make or break the championship. Not just for Noah Belleville, but look at everybody running second, third, fourth. We're talking about Briley Wright, 289 to Noah Belleville's 315. That's more than a chance. Chuck Sweeting at 287. Seth Wanting, 268. He's only one marker ahead of Aiden Norman. So Aiden's looking like he's going to leapfrog into fourth, possibly third. Chuck Sweeting, he's nobody to play with. An absolute consistent driver. He and Matt Vorndren remind me of each other, one and the same. Genuinely, they can mirror each other just because they're so consistent. It's fantastic just to see what consistency can do for you. Tom Sears is now your new leader. Shout out to all the folks in Southampton, Massachusetts, as they will go 3 wide and almost crash. 2/10 is the gap, and they're racing hard for the lead. Jason Alexander and Tom Sears. 15 laps to go. By the way, shout out Cody Pinnell earlier, who resubscribed with Amazon Prime. I'm not sure if anybody knew, but if you do have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can subscribe to Rick James TV for free with that Prime subscription. Just a, wink, wink. Anyway, again, shout out Cody Pinnell. He went ahead and subscribed on Prime, and he does that so often, and I appreciate you, Cody. Thank you so much. Been to a few races with him as well. Tom Sears is going to come into the pits. Jason Alexander will now go to the lead. Salem, South Carolina's Jason Alexander is once again leading in Thursday Night Thunder. How about that? Jayco's still got it. 1.5 seconds behind him, the pride of Kansas City, Seth Wansing. He moves into second. Remember, Seth, he spun out by himself on turn number 4. He found himself running a lap down. He's now up into second. He does have to pit, but he has been climbing. He's been making his way back up. And of course, if a caution comes out, anything is possible. Alexander is in, and Peculiar Missouri's Seth Wansing is your new leader. Noah Belleville runs in third. He's going to move into second now that Jayco has come into the pits. Wansing out front, praying for that yellow flag to come out. It would change absolutely everything. Belleville in second, Aiden Norman in third, and look at the gap now. 1.1 seconds from Noah Belleville to Aiden Norman. Aiden gained 0.6 on the pit stops, but can he make it stick? He was not able to claw enough ground. Now we have 13 laps to go, a dozen laps remaining now. Seth Wansing stays out front. He last pitted on lap number 40. He's going to gamble on that caution because what other strategy does he have? But at this point, it might just work if that yellow flag comes out. 11 laps to go this time by. Quickly looking at other sports scores, the ones particularly that I care about. The Red Wings are up on the Flyers 4-2 with 6.5 to go in the third. Pistons are up 6 on the Timberwolves with a minute to go in the fourth. Vorndren, 0.6 behind Chuck Sweeting. So far, so good, and he is on trajectory for fifth. Tom Sears put in his personal best, 38.55. A fight for 14th. Donald Ray, well, not a fight anymore. Ray's going to come into the pits. Ryan Lindemann will hang on to the 14th position. Seth Wansing finally is in. The gamble will not pay off, and he can't get the fuel. He can't get the caution to then get the fuel that he needs. New leader, Noah Belleville. 1-0 to go, and 9 next time by at the line. Aiden Norman, 1.3 seconds behind Noah Belleville, and the 41 car is just turning on the jets. See that pink car coming out of that second position? Out of that second corner, not the second position. That's Chuck Sweeting in fourth coming out of turn number 2. He's holding on to fourth by 0.3 of a second. 8 laps at the line, and Noah Belleville expands his gap to greater than 1.5 seconds. 41 car, he's out of here. 5-7 holding on to fourth while the double 8 gets closer. Ryan Lindemann, Seth Wansing for lucky number 13. Wansing has a run, trying to get into the 13th spot. 7 to go this time. Wansing to the inside, but can he make it stick? The number 5, HendrickCars.com DuPont machine does make it stick. Lindemann now. He's in 14th. Lindemann's in. No, I thought Lindemann was coming in. He just got loose out of turn number 4. Great save. Up to fourth now. 6 to go. The next time Noah Belleville crosses the line, Vondren trying to make it happen the hard way. Vondren's there. Fourth on the line. Mellow Yellow has tasted the rainbow of the 5-7, but now can he get around him? A 1/10 of a second was the gap headed into turn number 1. 4 to go next time by. Briley right now trying to work on Dale Markowski. This is 7th on the line. .3 is now the gap between Tommy Withers and Tom Sears. The number 9 Green Lantern machine up 7 places from where he started. Tom Sears up 4 places from where he started. Dale Markowski now watching Briley Wright inch closer up towards 7th. Briley now goes to the inside, but will he make it stick this time around? Briley couldn't make it stick that time. Where will he dive this time? To the inside of Dale Markowski into 3 and 4. Dale just holds on to the position. Briley to his inside, but will they make contact? Just so close. And the 33 and the 3 will drag race. 2 laps to go, 4 miles next time by. 2 seconds the gap from first to second. Noah Belleville intends on defending this run for a second TNT championship. Dale and Briley are drag racing into turn 3. Briley right to the inside in the 3 car. Dale Markowski to the outside in the 33. 7th place is what they're arguing for. Jason Alexander, Tommy Withers, and Tom Sears all battling for 10th. White flag next time by. Dale Markowski on the outside of Briley Wright. How is he going to defend it? And Elrich George watching all of this unfold from the comfort of his position. Briley finally gets around Dale. Dale Markowski in 8th, Briley Wright in 7th, Noah Belleville took the white flag, Matt Vorndren is in 4th with Chuck Sweeting in 5th. The 88 finally made it around, but now one more shot for Sweeting in the 5-7. Noah Belleville came into Michigan with the intention on winning, and he has another championship on his mind. Out of turn number 4, return to victory. Noah Belleville wins at Michigan. Matt Vorndren trying to hold on for 4th. They will drag race out of the 4th corner, and 4th place goes to the mellow yellow car. It's going to be Jason Alexander and Tom Sears now. Sears in 10th, Alexander in 11th. One more shot for Alexander. He will drift up at a turn number 4. Sears will defend, coming off the wall, and to drag race for the top 10. Jason Alexander by 2/100ths of a second. Tommy Withers, Seth Wansing drag racing. A 10th and change the difference between them. Noah Belleville, your winner. And that wasn't even the most exciting part of that race. What a night. What a race. We'll have our podium in just a moment. Now with our top 3 on the podium for our 9th round of competition at Michigan. Let's start with our 3rd place finisher here, Bren Roberts. Bren, it was last week at Atlanta that you came home with a win, I think, right? Was it last week at Atlanta you came home with that win, Bren? And now here you are with a 3rd place again. Are you thinking podium for TNT? You've had an incredible couple of weeks.
Yeah, you kind of look at the entry list when you come into these at the start of the race, and Noah and Aiden are always the guys that are going to be competing for the win. So to come out here, finish third, be the best of the rest, I'll count it as a win in my book.
not only was it third, but it was definitely competitive as well. By the way, while I remember, shout out Infraction Music. They do provide our pre-race music for free, by the way. Check them out on Spotify. Looking at these points, Bren Roberts, it has not been it has not been the most fruitful season. I mean, we're not talking top 10 in points, but you have a win. You're now 13th in points, by the way, 9 markers behind Ethan Winters, and the top 10 still within reach. We're taking a break next week, but then in 2 weeks we'll be back at Dover, and you've got another podium to fight for, man.
Yeah, we'll just keep coming out here looking to stack up points, and hopefully, if the odd strategy goes our way, we can compete for a win, or just show up with the pace and see what happens.
Looking forward to the next win. Let's talk to our second place finisher, the man who said, I got no practice and still came home with a silver medal. Aiden Norman, what more did you need to beat Noah Belleville?
Talent. That's about it. Honestly, I think I could have set myself up better if I just qualified a lot higher, but I completely choked my qualifying run. And that put me down at the middle of the pack. And the dirty air is no joke still. It's definitely raceable, but it's hard, and I don't really have a lot of experience with it still yet. So I'm trying to figure that out, but it was terrifying in the pack. But once we got clear, once I was around P3, P2 or whatever it was, and I was able to actually start setting laps, I could somewhat hold with Moldy. It's just he's too good. Those last 10 laps, I tried to search around for grip, just trying every line I could think of, and none of it worked, so it is what it is.
Regardless drive, nonetheless, you find yourself, let's take a look. Let me refresh these points here. You find yourself 4th in the point standings. You have 309 points to Briley Wright's 326. Briley is tied with Chuck Sweeting for 2nd in the point standings, and you are 55 points behind Noah Belleville at the front. We'll see you in 2 weeks for Dover, man.
Yep.
Let's talk to the race winner. He's got a bunch of fans in the chat. Your mom, your grandma, your family moved the Wi-Fi router so you would stop blinking and you wouldn't get kicked out of the race, as iRacing now does. I think it was Justin in the chat who earlier said, family's everything. And in a situation like this, they genuinely helped you win this race.
Yeah, I mean, there at the start of that race, I was blinking a lot, but it cleared up about halfway through, so that was probably thanks to them. But as far as the race went, yeah, pretty straightforward. Started first and just kind of kept the track position. I actually only took 4 tires once that race, and that would be thanks to Jacob Bradley last season, because I lost this race because he took 2 tires and proved to us all that 4 tires doesn't really matter at this track. So, yeah, I took 2 tires just about every stop that race and just kind of held the track position. But, yeah, shout out Mom, Dad, Nana, Grandma Jeannie, everybody watching. And shout out you for putting it on. And, yeah, shout out Aiden for watching my bumper all race, making sure it was good.
Defending your points lead, looking at the numbers one more time, you will have 364 points headed into the break over Chuck Sweeting's 326. Dover's in 2 weeks. Aiden Norman's not going away anytime soon, so the work's not over. But do you have one hand on the trophy with 7 races to go?
It's a good points lead, but you never know what could happen. You never know if there's a chance you might not make a race. So you just got to keep going out there and getting as much as you can when you're here.
That's win number 3 this season. Enjoy the break, Moldy. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yep, thank you.
TNT doesn't disappoint. Talk about a great finish all over the place. That last lap, I think, had 2 or 3 finishes that were within a couple of tenths of each other. That's got to be one of the all-time last laps in TNT. It has been a really fun 7-week stretch. Genuinely, I think we've been broadcasting for 7 weeks. Justin asking, was that a silhouette of a man during the burnout? I actually think it was. I'm not going to lie. I want to end this stream, but now I actually have to find out, was that a silhouette of a man during Noah's burnout? Let's fast forward real quick. Thank you, by the way. Noah in there talking smack, but we can't. They can't hear you, son. Anyway, we'll go. We'll check this out real quick. It's been it's been a fun 7-week stretch, but damn, I'm tired. So we're gonna take a well-deserved break. Everybody's gonna take a well-deserved break. We're gonna watch Noah do this burnout and see if he left a silhouette of a human being in there. Oh, and you know what? We never got to ask Ryan Lindemann what the deal was with his orange. You know what? While we're here, let's bother Ryan Lindemann real quick. Lindo, Rick James in the house. While we're here, I do need to ask you about the orange wheels and the orange numbers this week. Talk to me about that.
You know, I was actually talking to my cousin about it, and he, we always race the green wheels. I'm like, you know what? I need to change my luck. Maybe if I change it up to orange or something different, I would bring myself better luck. But, had fun. So, it's all that matters.
Good, man. Of course.
Maybe next week or 2 weeks we'll bring the green wheels back. Who knows? Maybe it'll be red. I don't know.
No, absolutely, 100%. I was just curious about that. By the way, that is a silhouette of a man we saw in the burnout, but what that is was we're just seeing the flag man in the smoke. So that's that's just silly. Anyway, yeah, it's creepy at first until you realize that it's the flag man. Anyway, I think we've pushed our luck with being ridiculous for tonight. So let's go ahead and put this one to bed and go to our well-deserved break. Everybody, thank you so much for just sitting with us and having fun with us. What a hell of a race to end on this break. But we will be back in 2 weeks. Dover Motor Speedway, the Gen 4 cars, April 16, right here, 8:40 Eastern. And until that next race, stay safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you all around the corner.